Can a 3D printer create the same products as a CNC router, and is the quality just as good? My name is Mick. We're about to find out on the 3D Printing Zone. I've been 3D printing since 2017 and have owned over 40 different printers. I just received my first CNC router, the Carvera Air from the company Makera. I've never used a CNC router before. In fact, it's kind of intimidating. It comes with a ton of drill bits and all these other parts that I don't really know what they do yet. That being said, a 3D printer and a CNC router use similar G code, and they both have an X, Y, and Z axis. So you think it would be similar, right? Well, a 3D printer is additive, meaning it's adding to or building layer upon layer to create a part. A CNC router is the opposite. It is subtractive, where it is carving and subtracting material layer by layer. 3D printing is limited to the materials it can print, mainly different types of plastic, where a CNC router can carve plastic, metal, and a bunch of other materials. Let's get this thing unboxed, opened up, check out what it comes with, and try making something. Like I mentioned, this thing was intimidating at first. It comes with a ton of drill bits, other things I don't even know what their purpose is yet, and it even comes with a laser engraver. Despite being intimidated by the machine, once I opened the instructions, it gave me a clear view of what I needed to do from start to finish. Let's try making a light on the Carvera Air, then we'll try printing a similar light on a 3D printer and see how they compare. I chose to use this light because it features clear acrylic, black acrylic, metal. It has a bunch of different materials so we can see how they all work together to build one piece. We'll start with this black acrylic block. And I keep saying acrylic, I think it actually might be ABS, but it's a very hard plastic. Unlike a 3D printer where it's additive and it's building layer by layer like we talked about before, this will be carving out the part, which means it needs to be stuck to the bed. There's a couple different ways you can do this. Some people will do the tape method where they put double-sided tape on the bottom. Others will do a tape method with the brackets. Today, I'm just doing the brackets where you put them on, you screw them tight, and that part will not move. Before the CNC router begins carving, it needs to level the bed. That's what we call it in 3D printing. It's really building out a mesh to see where the part is at and make sure it's level. To do this, it uses the laser on the right side. Now, I almost broke the laser. When I put this in the software and I said, carve out the base for this light, I messed up, I didn't have the parameters right, and the laser almost hit this metal bracket. Luckily, it comes with an emergency stop switch. I hit that right before the laser broke, hitting that bracket, and we saved the laser sensor. This isn't the laser that engraves, it's the laser sensor that can detect how close it is to the bottom or to the part. This CNC router comes with a hose that can help suck up material as it's carving. I didn't hook up my shop vacuum or anything to the back. It would be nice if it had something included, and I believe they have other models that have an included vacuum. But for the purpose of this video, I left that vacuum off so that you can have a better view of what's actually being carved. When this thing started carving this black material, it started to make a mess. I had to close the front. Luckily, closing that contained all that material inside of the chamber. The G code for this file was already sent to us, so I haven't made any changes to it. When it's doing that last line of carving and cutting, it leaves these little tabs that you need to cut off at the very end. Having those tabs there secures the part so that it's not moving around when it's trying to cut that last edge, and it's just a little small detail that you just clean up with the blade that they include. Once the part was finished, I opened this up and was able to vacuum everything out. It was actually kind of satisfying vacuuming up this material. It had like a static feel where it was sticking to everything, so I really had to vacuum the whole chamber. The only area where material left the chamber was the two slots where the bed moves forward and backward. I don't know if you could really get around that. They have these rubber covers, but besides that, stuff's just gonna fall through there and it's not that hard to clean up. This black base came out looking very clean. Let's see if it will fit the LED PCB board that came with the Carvera Air. That fits perfect. Let's move over to the aluminum piece. Just like the black base, I will secure this down with those same brackets. I tried using the included blade to cut the aluminum part, but it was really difficult. Luckily, I have a battery-powered Dremel and it made it so much easier. I forgot to hit the record button when I cut this out of the bigger piece, but here's a clip of me just cleaning it up. By the way, don't do what I did. Make sure you have gloves or you're holding that with pliers. This could have easily slipped and cut me, and I already have so many cuts on my fingers. This was just a Dremel tool on Amazon. I can throw a link down below. You might be wondering, what is this aluminum piece for? Well, it goes right here on the bottom of the base, and it makes contact with the PCB board so that when I want to turn the light on or turn the light off, all I have to do is touch it with my finger. Touching it and holding down will dim it. Touching it again and holding it will make it go brighter. And then just touching it once will turn it on and off. I didn't design this, I didn't code anything. This was already sent with the CNC router, but imagine the possibilities. This thing can also do PCB boards. I didn't do that today, but being able to do a PCB board, plastic, metal, all these different parts together in one piece, that is really impressive, and I don't think you could do that with a 3D printer. Now let's move to the clear acrylic and cut out that Spider-Man. This came out looking so good. It really looks like something you could buy on Etsy where you're getting a custom family image made. The nice thing about this part is I don't need to cut anything at all. Those little tabs don't exist. All I need to do is push this lightly to break it off. Okay, maybe not lightly. I had to push pretty hard, but it came out looking really great. Let's add it to the base and see how it looks all together with the light on. This really looks so good. I love it, and it's just amazing that I was able to create this with one machine. Now the big question, can we recreate this clear piece on a 3D printer and have it look just as good? Let's go give it a try. The first thing I'll do is take some measurements. I want to make this as close to the same shape and size as the clear piece that we just cut on the Carvera Air. I couldn't find the same exact spider design, so we're going to use this one instead. All right, let's send it to the printer. I'll be using this clear PLA to see if it can be as clear or close to as clear as the clear acrylic. This first layer came out looking really good. It pretty much looks like it's see-through or black actually, because it's just showing the color of the bed. While that's printing, everything I've made so far on the Carvera Air has been templates that they've created. What if I want to create my own model or create something that's unique to me, not something that they sent? Again, this is very intimidating. I've never done anything like this before. That being said, they have tutorials for everything, including left clicking on the mouse, right clicking, how to navigate, how to rotate. Let's open up their software and I'll show you what I did to create this cool looking dragon. When you open Makera Cam, it gives you the option to do a 3-axis or 4-axis design. I'll choose a 3-axis. And then the first thing you want to do before you start adding your model, at least to me, this is what I did, is to add the part you'll be cutting out, engraving, whatever it might be. So for me, over on the left side, I decided to use this piece of wood. This is a softer material. It's really like MDF or sawdust glued together. So I don't know how well this will actually look. The length is 254 millimeters. I added the width and the height and hit OK. Now we have the build plate or the area we'll be carving. Before I go any further, this is not like 3D printing software. It's not like a slicer. I don't right click to rotate. In fact, every time I right click, you can see it just pulls up this menu. In order to rotate, you have to hold shift and push down the little scroll bar on your mouse. If you don't have a scroll bar, you can come up here and click on rotate. Then you can do left click. I had to do this the other day when I was using my computer without my mouse. I just had the pad and I had to rotate it this way. If I don't hold down shift and I click on the scroll, it allows me to pan it up, down, left, and right. Since I'm in the 3D printing world and I do a lot with STL files, let's add an STL dragon relief on here and see if we can carve that out. This software allows you to import 2D models, which is this button, or you can import 3D models, which is what I'll do. This is just a model I found online, but if I had something I designed that I wanted to do a relief of, I could throw that in here as well. Before I start assigning drill bits to this, I want to make sure it's the right shape and size and rotation. To do that, I select the model and go up and click on Adjust Object, and then we'll go to Transform, Move, Rotate, Scale. We'll make this 200 and rotate it 90 degrees. When I look at it from this angle, I can see that it's actually too tall. It's too tall from the top and from the bottom. It won't be carved out. So let me actually shrink this down a little bit more just to make sure it fits within the parameters of that wood. This is the right size I want it, but it's still a little too tall, so we're going to shrink down just the height. Now that we have the correct shape and size, we need to assign the different drill bits and the paths it will take to make that relief carve. So to do that, you'll click on the part, and then we'll go up and do a 3D path. And this is going to be a 3D relief. Now you can do pockets, you can do contouring where you're cutting things out. I think we're just going to do the relief for now. I could do a relief and then a contour and cut out this image, but I want it to be part of the whole board, so it looks like a big picture frame with this dragon inside. I'm going to add 3 different drill bits for this piece. I'll add a thicker bit to cut out the big areas, then I'll do a medium-sized bit, and then we'll finish it off with a really thin bit. This first one will be a single flute non-metal, and I happen to have the 25mm. When you look at this, it's kind of like with 3D printing. When you choose the type of material you want to use and the size of nozzle, the software will calculate everything else, the speeds it needs to take, looking at the material type. Just like Bamboo Lab does that with their printers, Cheaty does it, Creality. Each of their software, each of their slicers will have those presets, and then you can modify it even further. With me being an absolute beginner, I'm not going to modify any speeds. I'm just going to go with the bits that I've selected for the part that I'm carving. For this last drill bit, I'm actually using a metal one because it goes down to 0.2mm. I don't have anything that goes down that low that's for wood. I'm pretty sure it's okay to use this for metal and wood, but we'll find out. Now that I have the bits added, let's go ahead and click calculate and see what this looks like. Now that this is done, you can see all the different layers. The last thing you want to do before exporting this to G-code for the Carvera Air is to preview the part and make sure it's following the right path you want it to take. It's using the right drill bits and also making sure it looks how you want it to look at the end. To preview the part, you just click on Preview Toolpaths. I'll select the toolpaths we want to see and click Preview. Now from here, you can click the play button, watch it go layer by layer. This is very similar to the preview side with 3D printing. If you look at this model with 3D printing, it shows you layer by layer going from the bottom to the top, every layer, and you can see how it's printing. This controller at the bottom allows you to change the speed, so we can watch it real time or we can speed it up. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. This looks good enough for now. Let's export it, send it to the Carvera Air, and start carving. As this wood part is engraving, I have to say, relief engraving is so satisfying. You take a piece of wood, a piece of metal, brass, whatever it is, and you magically see this sculpture appear out of nowhere. It's pretty cool, and kind of like 3D printing, just the opposite. 3D printing is additive, where this is subtractive. It's taking away, but still creating a part. The first bit on the dragon just finished. Now I'm going to switch it to the smaller one so we can get more detail, because this looks kind of weird right now. Now I realized I made a mistake as this second bit is going. You'll notice it's just moving in the air. That's because I forgot to uncheck this box called step down. With the box checked, that means every layer that this drill bit goes, it's going to go across the whole layer regardless of what it's actually carving. So if it doesn't have to carve anything until the last part, which was how this dragon started, it's going to go all the way across back and forth, wasting time, electricity, just doing nothing until it gets to that part. Then it will carve that part and then continue going back and forth again. And on the software, you can see all these lines it's going to take. That's the path it's going to take regardless of actually carving anything. When I change it to just do the contour of the actual part, you can see all those lines disappear. All that wasted time, it's no longer going back and forth. Unfortunately, I realized this after this part had already been running for 4 hours, so I stopped the part because had I kept it going, it would take over 30 hours to finish because of my mistake not unchecking that box. Despite that fact, it still looks pretty cool. It almost looks like an old art where it's not as high detail, more pixelated, so I can still put this on a picture frame. In fact, here's one that I printed, and these go really well together. I want to try this again, but do it the right way. So let me do this on a smaller scale with metal and see how it looks. While this is engraving, I need to be honest about something. When Makera reached out to us and asked us to make a video of a CNC router, we were like, we're a 3D printing channel. We don't do CNC routers. We do laser engraving occasionally, but we really want to focus on 3D printing. So we emailed them back and we said, sorry, this isn't really what we do. They reached out again and again and again. And after 2 months of asking, we finally said, yes, we'll do a video. Could be cool. We've never tried CNC routing before. My intention was to get the CNC router, make this video, and then sell it. Sell it, make some money, and never do it again. But after this experience, after learning how to use their software and seeing how cool these parts look, I'm sold. I'm not gonna sell this anymore. I'm gonna keep it and continue making parts. You'll probably see this in other videos. I wanna learn more about how I can combine this with 3D printing and maybe with laser engraving to create something even more powerful than just with one of those three. The metal dragon just finished. Let's go check it out. The detail on this is so clear. This was with a 0.2 drill bit. I believe they even have 0.1 drill bits. I didn't have one in my stack, but that's finer detail than you can get with 3D printing. And this is metal. I can put this in my car. I can put this outside. There are some materials 3D printing that can go in, hot or cold places, but this is metal. I can make it out of wood. It's just, the possibilities are endless, and it's just so exciting to have another tool where we can make things outside of 3D printing and laser engraving. I think that print is almost done. Let's go check it out. Okay, this does not look clear at all. I think that's because I printed it flat with multiple layers and there's just air pockets. It just doesn't look as good. But let's see how it looks on the light. Yeah, just like I thought, that's not gonna pass. Let's try something different. This time I'll try putting on its side. We'll do just a 2 perimeter wall and 0 infill. I'm not sure how good the quality will be, but with only 2 layers, I'm hoping more light can pass through. I'm also putting it on its side so that the layer lines are the same direction as the light that's passing through. So when we stand it up and you have that light coming in, those lines will help complement the light and not go against it like we're already seeing with the flat piece. While that's printing, if you have not subscribed to our channel, we would really appreciate a subscribe and a like if you like this video. I really hate asking for subscribers. Don't subscribe if you don't want to. This is just, it's something that YouTubers have to do, so do it if you want. The part just finished. Let's go check it out. This looks a lot better. I don't know how it's gonna look on the light, but it's already more see-through and it looks more clear. One thing to keep in mind, I printed this on a kid-friendly printer. This isn't the best quality printer that I own. Those are all busy printing stuff right now. We purchased every kid-friendly 3D printer on Amazon. We're making a complete video, so if you're in the market for a 3D printer that's user-friendly, kid-friendly, make sure to check back. Now let's go see how this looks on the light. That is not bad at all. In fact, that's something you might be able to sell. It looks different. It's not the exact same. The quality is not as good. CNC routers have their place, but I'm actually quite impressed. This thing has been a blast to work with. It's amazing all the different materials it can carve. It can take your small business to the next level or your hobby to the next level, being able to have so many different materials and make so many different things. If you'd like to pick one of these up, I've dropped a link in the description. Using that link and code will give you a discount, so make sure you use that. I have loved using the Carvera Air and I can't wait for my next project. And we're done.